Welcome to the LionHeart podcast, where we learn to have a heart of a lion in this jungle we call life. I'm not gonna lie, this is my third time doing the intro because I keep screwing things up. First time, I forgot to press record on the camera. Second time, I forgot the phrase of what I was talking about in this podcast in the first place. But we're here now. Look, if you're a returning listener, I appreciate you for supporting the podcast. Let's continue to grow this community out, become the people who are becoming the best version of themselves, leveling up in each and every way. And also, if you're new, it's your first time joining in on the podcast, I appreciate you for coming in. You're going to like this because it's all about self-improvement, becoming the king or queen of your own jungle, meaning your own life. So let's jump right into it, man. There's a video by a channel called Better Ideas. I mentioned this last week as well, but the channel is called Better Ideas, and the phrase was, action is a life-giving breath, inaction is a slow death. So I was like, man, that hits hard. And the video that he put behind it puts like a lot more emphasis into everything. It's a really good video. The way Joe, I believe his name is, the way he shot it, very theatrical and everything. It was awesome. But I found it very profound. I'd never heard something like that. Action is a life-giving breath, inaction is a slow death. And I thought about it. It's so true with everything in life, right? If you're not taking action on the things that you want to take action on, even in other words, right? Life, we understand, we hear it all the time. Life is short, right? We know life, it seems like days are just flying by. Things just go by quick nowadays, especially now. I look up and I'm like, yo, I'm getting old, man. I know I'm young still in a lot of people's eyes, but I look at myself, I'm like, dang, man, like, what happened to the time? I remember being this little kid and all of a sudden, like, a grown man now. Crazy stuff, man. But time goes by quick. And I realized, like, you can't hesitate on doing things in life, the things that you want to do, right? And that's what that video really emphasizes. Get things done. And one thing I want to go over too is the kind of thing that he goes over in the video too, because he was saying no matter what, there's going to be pain in life, right? No matter what, you're going to have pain, right? I think I mentioned this in last week's podcast. Like, no matter what, you're going to have pain. Things are going to seem unfair. Things are always going to go that way. That's just the way that life is. Things are always going to be painful. You're going to go through kind of pain. But there's two different kinds of pain that you can take. There's the pain of action, and there's the pain of inaction. And I'm going to go over the difference between these right now. So there's the pain of action. Now, what is the pain of action? Pain of action is you basically taking to the chin all the pain and going after what it is that you know you need to do. So, for example, like the things that it mentions in the video, let's say it is like even just the simple things, right? The simple things that sometimes it seems so difficult to do, like cleaning your room, making your bed, doing the dishes, cleaning up around the house so that you have an organized environment, right? Doing better for your health, eating healthier, going to the gym, putting yourself through those situations, right? There's things that you can do that you embrace the pain. Waking up early in the morning, you learn to embrace the pain and you take it up front, right? You know what you're going to do. You take that pain, but at the end of that pain, there's a reward that comes at the end of that. We understand that when we do these things, for example, picking up the environment around us, making it clean so that we're able to have a more, organized work environment, or not work environment, but even inside your home, you know what I mean? Then we understand that maybe the point of cleaning it up and fixing everything up is not the fun part, right? That's taking the pain up front. But at the end, you know that you're going to have a good result from it. Same thing, like the exact same example that I keep using every single week, it seems like. You go to the gym, right? You're taking that pain up front. You know you're going to put yourself through pain. When you're lifting weights, when you're doing cardio, you're putting pressure on your body to start changing and to become stronger and to become better. At that time, you're taking the pain up front. You know what you're signing up for, but what happens at the end? At the end of the day, you recognize that there are the good things that come from it. About that, I had a little interruption. But anyways, You're taking that pain up front so that you understand that you're going to get a good result from it later on. That is the pain of action, whatever it is that you're doing, right? Pain of action could come in so many different forms. Like, for example, there's another example of like the entrepreneur mindset. Now, I want to make it clear that you don't have to have this mindset. I think the culture today is saying that, oh, you need to be an entrepreneur in order to be successful and everything like that. If that's not your lane, then that's fine. But anyways, the point is, entrepreneur, if you're starting your own business, it's a very difficult lifestyle. You're starting something from the ground up, and it's very complicated. It takes a lot of work, and you have to put work in all the time. You're not working a 9 to 5 shift. You're working a 7 to 7, a 6 to 8. Like, you're working a long shifts to get all this work done. You're on the clock all the time because you know you got to get work done. Then, what is that? That's taking the pain up front. You understand what you're getting yourself into. You know that it is going to be a difficult path. And a lot of the times, if you look at the statistics, most of the time, I think it's like 90% of the time, businesses fail. So you're taking that pain up front in hopes to be able to get a better result in the end. This is just what it is with the pain of action. It's not COVID, I swear. The pain of action in life. If you take action towards something that you're wanting to take action towards, then you know that you're taking that pain up front, the suffering up front, in order to get the better result at the end. But what about the opposite? What about the pain of inaction? The pain of inaction is you having dreams that you know that you want to go after, or things that you know that you're wanting to do, but because you're scared or because you're procrastinating, whatever it may be, you keep putting it off. Day by day, days are going by, weeks are going by, months are going by, years are going by, and you still haven't pursued that one thing. You still haven't done that one thing that you said you were going to do. That's the pain of inaction. It eats away at you slowly, right? That's why I said inaction is a slow death. It eats away at you because you start getting so many regrets in your life because of all the things that you didn't do. That's the pain of inaction. Pain of inaction when you know that you need to be doing something, but instead you start watching TV on the couch. You need to do something, but instead you get engulfed in social media and spend 4 hours, 5 hours on TikTok, Instagram, all these social media platforms, YouTube. You start getting sucked up in all this, and it takes up all of your time instead of the time that you could be using towards what it is that you really wanted to be doing. This is the pain of inaction. Once again, the pain of action. Action is a life-giving breath. Inaction is a slow death. When you don't take action towards things that you want, and I know because I'm still young, so a lot of people say like, "Oh, you're still young. You made mistakes and stuff." That's the way it goes. But the way that I look at it is, for years I wasted a lot of the time that I could have been using because, first of all, like, I didn't have a direction of where I was trying to go with everything. I had no clue because I didn't know anything about being an entrepreneur. I didn't know anything about businesses. The one thing that I did know right away is that I was not going to be good at working at other companies. I suck at holding jobs for the most part. I'm not saying that I'm a terrible worker or something like that, but I don't enjoy it. I get bored easy. I can't do the same thing over and over again. Like, I get antsy very quick. I like doing things different all the time. I don't like sitting down doing the same thing every single day. So because of that, holding jobs is very difficult for me unless it's something that I'm actually doing something different all the time. But the point is, for a while, I didn't know what direction. All I knew is that I wanted to work for myself at one point. But with that being said, I didn't know anything about business. I didn't understand a lot of how everything works, understanding how money works, understanding how everything works. So I wasted so much time without understanding any of this. It wasn't until I really started to dive deep and listen to different podcasts, read different books, until I started to really focus and pay attention to everything that was happening around me, that I was able to start putting everything together and realize what it is that I really wanted to do, what I'm passionate about, and what it is that I'm going to take action towards. That's the time whenever I started realizing, you know what, take the pain up front and start going after all these things. Yeah, you're going to have to work hard to do what you're wanting to do to get what you're wanting to get. But I know in the end, it's going to be something that is worthwhile. It's going to benefit me in the end. So right now I'm working hard and I'm making sure that I'm changing everything about myself that I wanted to change. For example, getting in shape. That was the goal of mine. I was always a super scrawny kid. I was skinny, man. I remember like I'm trying to think of the years. Like 2 years ago, I was like at 145. Like I was like a stick figure, man. And now I'm right around 160 and I'm still putting on weight now because I'm still bulking. But the point is I started putting in the action to start changing myself to what I wanted to be. Financially, spiritually, in every way possible in my life, I started taking action because I realized that there's no time to waste in not taking action, in inaction. Because once again, as I'm going to keep repeating throughout this whole podcast, inaction is a slow death. When you don't take action on things, it eats away at you in everything. Actually, this kind of relates to the podcast from last week about the fear and resistance. Because so many people don't do things because of the resistance, because of the fear that they have towards certain things, and because that they don't take any action. But at the end of the day, what is it that they're doing at that time? They're trying to run away from that pain instead of taking it up front. But instead, just makes the pain all the more longer and stronger throughout their whole entire life because they know they never were able to conquer that thing, or that they were just never able to go after or pursue that thing that they wanted to do. That's what happens when you don't take action, when you don't embrace the pain. You got to remember, no matter what way in life that you're going, there's going to be pain involved. Life is painful. There's no way of going against that, right? You're gonna have those days where you're having mental games where your mind is telling you like, dude, I don't feel like going anymore, man. I just want to lay down. Like, I don't want to do anymore. You're gonna have those days where you're feeling down. Like, everybody goes through these times. Like, me too. I go through these times all the time. But I've learned to just keep going. Like, it really is a mentality thing. Like I've said in the previous podcasts and stuff, you become what you think, right? That's an Earl Nightingale quote. You become what you think about. So the things that you think about, the things that you put focus on, the things you put emphasis on your life, those are the things that are going to come into fruition. Those are the things that are going to happen. So you have to take action and just persevere through the pain. And it's better to take the pain up front for something that you know is going to be beneficial for you, even if you know you're going to be uncomfortable up front. Because it's better be uncomfortable up front, but be successful in the end, than to be uncomfortable, not do it because you're trying to avoid the pain, but feel that pain for the rest of your life. Because that's exactly what's going to happen. You're going to come to regret everything that you didn't do in life. Because you didn't want to go through that pain of just taking action in the first place. Whatever it may be. There's so many different situations which I can't go over in this podcast because everybody's different. Everybody is going to have different situations. They're going to have different things that they want to pursue. They're going to have different goals. They're going to have different lifestyles. Everything is different. But the most important thing that I want everybody to grasp from this podcast is don't run away from pain, man. Like, pain is going to be there in life no matter what. So don't run away from it. But instead, take it up front so that you're able to have success. You're able to have your goals met in the end. Instead of trying to avoid it now, thinking that's going to make you happier, when in actuality, it's going to make you 10 times worse in the end. Because you're going to end up regretting everything that you didn't take action on in the beginning. Don't be that person. Right? Don't. Like, it's very similar to what I was speaking about last week with the fear thing. That's something that I did for a long time. The things that I feared, which last week I was speaking about public speaking, is something that I feared and I tried to avoid for so long because I was terrified Like I told you guys last week, if you haven't listened, then I'll like briefly mention, but I've had some embarrassing moments when it comes to public speaking, like my voice giving out and just bad situations where I'm super embarrassed after it. So because of that, even now, those moments haunt me still. Like whatever it comes to public speaking or when I got to speak in front of a big group of people, those times still haunt me because I think about those times and I'm like, whew. But nowadays, I don't run from it no more. That's the difference. Back then, I would try to get myself out of those situations any possible way that I could. But nowadays, I don't run from it anymore. I'm scared out of my mind. When it comes to those situations, my heart is beating fast. I know that I'm very uncomfortable, but I've learned to just take that pain up front and learn even if I screw up, whatever. It's a learning experience. You got to go through it. You become better that way. That's the most important thing that I've learned now. Like you just got to embrace it, man. Similar to what I was saying last week. You got to learn to embrace that pain. Because no matter what, that pain is going to be there. And whether you want that pain to be that slow death of inaction, or whether you want that pain to be the life-giving breath of taking action, it's all up to you. It's all up to you. Remember, you have the ability to make the decisions for your own life. Nobody else is in control. You are. You are. Now, me personally, I look to God. God is number one in my life, but I understand that I'm the one I'm the one that has the ability to make the right or wrong choices in my own life. So I have to do my best to try to make the right choices in every situation that is put in front of me. But one thing I know that does not work is trying to avoid pain just for a temporary comfort that's not going to last very long because regret will set in. So don't try to look for that comfort, but instead take it face on with any kind of pain that is coming towards you, whether it's getting in shape. If you want to fix up your health, but you've been avoiding it or something just, for some reason you just haven't started, or you started, but then things just didn't go well and then you stopped, like, why not? What are you going to do? You're going to regret it in the end? Like, man, maybe I should have taken more care of my health. Maybe I should have taken more care of myself because now I'm having these issues now in the future. Like, do you really want to look back and regret like that, thinking, man, I should have taken care of myself back then and I would have been in a better situation now? Or would you rather have the understanding of, I took care of myself back then. I made sure that I stayed healthy. I ate healthy. I made sure that I worked out. And now look at me. I'm vibrant. I'm healthy at this age. Which one do you think you're going to be more appreciative towards? The one who took action. Right? That's one example. If there's a business thing that you wanted or a job that you were specifically wanted to go for, but you were too scared to do it, then in the future you're going to look back and think, man, if I just would have taken that chance, if I just would have done it. Or do you want to look back and say, man, when I was back then, I took the chance, I went for it, and guess what? I got it. I got the job that I wanted. I started the career that I wanted to start. Man, thank goodness I started back then. Which one do you think you want to be? Like, you don't want to live a life of regret, thinking back later on, like, shoot, I should have done all these things. Like, you don't want to look back with regret later on. Like I said, life is short. Things go by quick. Time is flying. Time is flying. I still can't believe that this year I'm turning 23, man. I know, and some people are probably like, oh my gosh, that's young. but to me, I'm like, that's crazy. I'm like, I can't believe it. So, like, time flies by quick, man. And that's just one thing that I've learned. You just got to take your chances, man. Don't hesitate. What's the worst thing you're gonna receive in life? If you're going after an opportunity, you're gonna get rejected. All right. Oh, time to move on to the next one. It's like that with everything, man. Like, you just gotta learn to think of it from a different mentality. That's simply what it is. Take the pain up front and learn to realize that there's an abundance of everything in life. right? There's an abundance of everything. And I feel like once people realize that mentality, then they'll understand all the more. There's an abundance. So it's not, if I don't do this, I failed. No, that's not what it is. There's an abundance of everything. Job opportunities, people, relationships. There's an abundance of everything in life. So don't worry so much about just one specific thing. I don't know if that makes any sense. But don't put unnecessary pressure on yourself for absolutely no reason, right? Just try to make the best decisions in your life. And like I keep repeating, which is the point of this one, inaction is a slow death. Don't allow that to be you. Take the chances, take the risks of whatever needs to happen in your life. Like, take the risks. Like, don't hesitate and then regret later on thinking, shoot, I should have done that. I should have talked to this person. Oh man, I should have went for this job opportunity. I should have done this. Don't be that person, man. Don't regret. Don't regret. Do what you got to do, man. Do what you got to do. I think that's where I'm going to end it off with you guys today, man. Keep it a little bit short. I'm not going to lie. I had a long weekend. I'm exhausted. My eyes feel like they're about to like pop out my eye sockets or something. But listen, I just want you guys to understand that, right? There's going to be pain no matter what. So you might as well just take it to the face and go for it. Do what you got to do. Go after what it is that you want to go for. Don't hesitate and don't regret in the future. Because what? If you guys have heard it enough already, inaction is a slow death. Trying to avoid temporary pain, trying to avoid pain temporarily is not going to do you any good in the future. So, make sure that you take action, embrace the pain that is coming towards you, and then you'll live a life with no regrets because you did everything and you took all the chances that were put forth to you in your life. So guys, like I said, if you're a returning listener, I appreciate you guys for supporting the podcast, for everything that you guys have done. If you're new, I hope this information was helpful to everybody. If you return, I hope it was helpful to you too. No, don't think I'm neglecting you. But I hope this information was helpful. I hope that I put it into the right words. What I've been doing with all these podcasts is I kind of freestyle. I tried to write down like points on, I think it was the second episode of the podcast, and I realized I'm just not good at that. I'm a lot better when I'm just kind of freestyling off the top of my head. So I hope everything is making sense. Yeah, this will be up on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. So yeah, make sure you guys subscribe, follow, like, share with anybody who you believe would benefit from this podcast, because like I said, we're becoming the LionHeart, right? Having the heart of a lion in this jungle called life. But yeah, we're learning to take control of our own lives. So make sure you don't hesitate. Take those chances that you need to take. Don't regret in the end. And remember, inaction is a slow death. But when you take an action, it's like a breath of life coming towards you, man. So make sure you guys take action. Don't regret. And yeah, man, I'll see you guys next week. Peace.